Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the BANGover Podcast. I am Scott Allen. This is Chris Myers.
This is Chris Myers.
And this episode is about a band called Stormtroopers of Death?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you
S.O.D.
think they got that title from Sepultura
I don't know.
in the song?
That is a...
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Sepultura, dude.
I mean, this was...
One of the kings of thrash. That's what we're talking about.
What year was that song?
That was like during the live. There was like a live album of like Chaos AD and. But we're talking the first album, Speak English or Die. Wow, what a absolutely fantastic album. Highly respected in the metal community. It was definitely just a one-off thing. We had a live album. We had that Rise of the Fallen as well, which was another live, or what was that?
Yeah, there was like the live at Budokan.
There's that one,
and then there's they did the Bigger Than the Devil.
Right, that was way later on.
Yeah, so it's like a lot of.
But there's like another
stuff.
one that's like Rise.
Rise of the Infidels or something.
Yeah,
like that.
and
it's got like a phoenix on it or something. Yeah.
What is that? What album is that?
It's another one of these, like, I don't know. It's got a lot of their albums, even like Bigger Than the Devil. It has a lot of the spoof songs.
I mean, they're known for it, right?
The like Ballad of Jimi Hendrix and Ballad of Kurt Cobain and all these. Like, let me see. What album was the Sepultura one?
I want to say Chaos AD around there. Between that was actually their first album. Stormtroopers of Death was like on not Schizophrenic, but the one before
Morbid Visions.
Yeah,
that was 86. So technically they did it first.
But it's called Troopers of Doom. I'm just fucking an idiot. That's all it is. Welcome to the BANGover Podcast,
but
where
it's
you get all your disinformation.
Stormtroopers of Doom, or Stormtroopers of Death.
Yeah,
Troopers of Doom. Yeah,
it's just because we had this album. We were just in thrash when we got into S.O.D, right? It was like 12 years ago, and we're just going down the thrash metal hole. You know what I mean? Just consuming. It's where we found like Nail Bomb, which is another just one-off great thrash metal, quote-unquote super groups, if you will. It's weird to say super groups when like some of the... I'm not saying I don't like M.O.D. or something like Fudge Tunnel, but not well known. You know what I mean? In fact, M.O.D. is they probably play more S.O.D. songs when they go live. At least that's what I heard. It's when M.O.D. plays live, they play a lot of S.O.D. songs. Yeah.
Whenever
it's the most popular stuff.
We were playing the whole Red River thing, M.O.D. was doing that show, remember? I think it was his birthday.
Yeah. So let's give the audience a little bit of the backstory.
We've worked with Billy
12 years ago
closely.
For a good 3-year period.
Yeah.
Playing here in Austin, being just one of the handful of metal bands in this town, it felt like at the time. And always playing Headhunters on Red River. If anyone here listening is from Austin, you know exactly what we're talking about. Yeah. Changed to Metal and Lace. It had an episode of Bar Rescue on it. Yada, yada, yada. But for the longest time, Billy Milano, the lead singer of M.O.D. and S.O.D., was the manager there. And he did some of the booking, but it was more like he just took care of the sound. He was like the in-house sound guy, but manager on staff at the same time. It was like to save money across the board, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we were like kids, you know? Like, I think I was 21. Ryan wasn't even allowed to they let him hang out because Headhunters was really cool.
We were just breaking that like drinking legal age and like being able to play in the
meeting
clubs
him
and stuff. Yeah.
And to us being that kind of young and just like loving thrash metal and just being so hard into it, that here you go, Chris.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of mic trouble over here, but I'm on it. Don't worry. it was just so intimidating. You know what I mean? He's kind of a bigger guy.
Yeah.
He's bigger than life, if some would
Bigger
say.
than the devil.
He's just,
Well, and he has
his
that whole New
attitude.
York, like,
Exactly.
yeah, it's all just like fuck you type attitude.
He's a bit shorter than you think he is in real life, but he's very stocky as a person. And every time he was like sucking on a cigar or eating a giant bowl of salad, walking around. And, you know, I wanted to try to talk to him to be cool, but like, it was just me like trying to act cool, and he would like say something and be like, "Oh yeah, that's pretty awesome." I was like, "What's pretty awesome?" I'm like, what you just said. He's like, "What? Like, what? Huh? I'm gonna get a drink."
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people that work there. I still work with a lot of people that work there, and they always said he was an asshole. So shout out to Billy Milano. You're an asshole, but you knew that. You knew that. Remember, we would just like drive, like be heading to a show, and Billy would just be walking. We're like, Billy,
You see him all the time, just walking around. Yeah.
So it was like from there to Bull in the Caves. We got hired. We got a gig it was kind of a last minute thing at Headhunters about 10 years ago. And our time slot was a shitty fucking time slot. And we didn't even know, but lo and behold, like 2 venues down from us at Bull in the Cave or wherever the fuck, Billy Milano was having his 40th whatever birthday. And they're playing like all these S.O.D. Songs. At the same time, we hit the stage as well. Like, we didn't realize that, because we were like, oh, I wonder why this guy just reached out to was like really, like, you know, he really wanted us to play the show. He was like, hey, I really need you guys. This would be like such a huge favor if you guys can come in. You know, we'll pay you double. We'll give you extra drinks, whatever. I was like, are we like a good band? Like, are we just like kicking ass so much that they like need us? And it turned out, no, S.O.D. was just playing down there, and no one was going to be in
M.O.D.
M.O.D. Whatever.
Yeah, it was his birthday or something, and so M.O.D. was literally playing at that Irish pub or whatever. Was it it was the one next to that. I don't think it was the Irish.
It was the Bull. It was the Bull in the Cave.
Yeah, that
it
one.
Was what
like
is
the
now
rock and roll
Valhalla.
kind of like
What is now Valhalla?
Yes.
I think there might be an in-between bar I'm missing in my brain right now, but
yeah, it was
all
like
that shit shut down.
So rinky dink. They're like in the corner.
Yeah, he like moved over there because he
Yeah.
got in an argument with the owner of Headhunters. So he was like, "Fuck that place, I'm never." And the best part of meeting Bill Milano was asking him like stories about the interviews, about like if you ever watched any live S.O.D. It's been seen on multiple things on like Loudwire, or like I think even a Tosh.0 episode where Billy Milano climbs up to the top of the Raptors and jumps like fucking front flips like 3 times on like the crowd and just hurts a lady, like hurts some fucking people pretty bad. I think it was a lady, the one lady in particular that was the most hurt by the whole thing. But I remember our singer at the time in our band asked him, he's like, because in the interview that he gave, I gotta set it up. In the interview they gave to ask him, it was like, did you mean to jump off that? And he was like, no, I fell. Like, I just fell off. Like, I didn't mean to do that. And that was his whole story. He was sticking to it. And fucking our singer asked him, he's like, did you really fall off or did you jump? And he was like, come on. It was like 3 front flips, dude. Like, oh yeah, you fell, but made it look cool as you were falling. Like, you did it on purpose. You see your legs bend and jump.
Yeah.
But he was like, he didn't really like say anything. He was like, like just made some, noises. It's rock and roll. But I love that stuff. Or the bartender, like everyone was talking about, like, oh, Anthrax just broke up. They canceled their tour. He's like, hey, you think you want to get back together with S.O.D? And he was like, the bartender was just joking with them. But he was not happy about that joke.
Yeah,
and
I remember that.
Yeah, and we were like, no.
Yeah.
It kind of crushed us on the inside.
Never.
It never felt good. Plus, hearing the stories that he was kind of a little creeper, but
Well, I have a few of those SOD
I get that a lot,
DVDs, and it's like just a bunch of like the tour because they toured so much.
It's so crazy that they toured so much. And it's just for this one album, I guess, because maybe Anthrax just had all that shit fucked up, and they were like, "Fuck it, let's just do this and keep it rolling as long as we can."
Yeah. But like playing to huge audiences, Japan loving
Right?
it. It's like insane.
It is insane how much of a crowd they built in like other countries, how much they toured, And this was like pretty much before Bigger Than the Devil, you know?
Oh, this is
all
just
that
that.
touring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just
Because Bigger Than the Devil was like 8 years later.
well
From like 80 or 97 from like this is 89. This is birthdays of 89s.
this
90.
this concert is 97 that we're kind of.
But this album that we're talking about is 1990. It's the 30th anniversary. God, I suck at this.
Yeah, 30 years. That's still for this album that is like we're saying so highly regarded in multiple countries and stuff for this type of music. It's
And with the title like that too,
the title,
which is like
just
the
the title,
PC
but-
police could be coming after this motherfucker. On
true.
these.
This album coming out nowadays, I don't
No.
know. You know, even
the whole "You're Dead" song, you
You're
know,
Dead,
the
but-
ballads or whatever.
well, even the title track "Speak English or Die." You know,
Yeah.
the lyrics to that song are so like.
Oh, or
un-PC.
here's a good one: "Kill Yourself."
Oh,
That's
there
it.
you go.
That's
Yeah.
across the board. Kill yourself. Kill
Yeah.
yourself. Why don't you kill yourself?
Yeah. So much, you know, Pussy Whipped.
I'm gonna be listening
Here's
to this
another one
today.
Fuck the Middle East. Like that one. Fuck the Middle East. There's
Right
too
on the
many-
money.
Yeah, there's too many problems. They just get in the way.
Right. But
So
okay,
it's like,
but
yeah.
for all the people that think like, oh, this is a little dated and you know, like what were their intentions behind all this? Okay, maybe if you didn't know,
It was
but like thrash metal, punk, it has a lot of ironic shit. You didn't get like Joey Ramone or Dee Dee, whoever it was, dressing up like a Nazi, you know, or Slayer kind of using like kind of Nazi propaganda inside their imagery, imagery. Did I get that right? Okay. Stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like not to just say a bunch of Nazi stuff, but
35th anniversary, right?
35th, yeah. But
Sorry, we said 30th.
Oh,
I had 30th
God.
on here, yeah. But no, even longer than that. So it's like
I thought it was 35 and you
yeah,
put 30 and I
know,
was like,
that's why I was like,
90?
but then I looked at the
Feels
thing.
older.
Yeah. But still, even to just date it even further back, and we're having anniversaries for like 40-year albums and stuff.
Yeah,
We're like,
because
holy
I
shit,
think
it's like
I think this is
changing things on the fly, people.
Anthrax is broken up at this point, right? But only for like a past year because that doesn't make sense either. I think Anthrax is starting at this time as well. Look it up.
We can. We cannot
not do this.
Yeah. So, but continuing on with this album,
35 years.
Yeah.
Holy shit, it's fast. Hey, you don't make it like they used to. That's what they
No.
always say.
well, this album is kind of just like a spurt of. That was great to pull up. It's like a spurt, a just burst of like creative energy. You know what I mean? That's what the album feels like because it's so fast and all these songs are so short, but like fucking insane.
Yeah.
You know, that's why it's like, I think well regarded too. I mean, how long is the album?
30 minutes.
28 minutes.
And with
Not
how many
even
tracks?
that. And you got 21 tracks, not including any of the bonus stuff.
And even with those bonus tracks, I mean, we're talking another 10 minutes at most added.
Yeah,
No,
it's-
even it was like 8.
Probably, yeah. I mean, it's a bunch of live stuff, and then Ram It Up is included, which is an Inferno cover. And then you got Identity and Go, which altogether not even 4 minutes. Yeah, very quick album.
Love it.
It's a good listen. You know what I mean? Just put
Yeah,
it on
you
and
just
crank
blast
through it.
through.
Yeah,
And you get your little skits in between. It all has a lot of everything that they say, like kill yourself, fuck the Middle East. It's almost like not taken so serious because of all the in-between banter of the band.
yeah.
The way the band always market themselves because Scott Ian's a genius when it comes to marketing. I think it's him doing all that, right? It has to be. Just really getting it out there. It's like putting it on the tips of everyone's tongue. You know what I mean? I always ask this. And again, don't mean to sound like an asshole, but we are talking about metal and we're a bunch of metalheads. So, you know, it's about to stink like farts in here real quick. Like, how did Scott Ian become the master shredder?
Riff writer.
With only like 2 albums 3, 4, 5 albums that I really love from him.
I don't know. Maybe it's just that other
One Anthrax album in particular.
It's
And this.
I think it's the
And then he's the god of thrash for me. He's like up there.
Anthrax and S.O.D are so different in like the mindset. I think that's where it become like you can't have these S.O.D songs be Anthrax songs because they're too like hardcore almost.
I can hear it
You
a
know what I
little. I
mean,
can
a little
I can
bit, but-
hear it in there a little bit. The bass player. It's the same band. Okay.
Yeah, pretty
Maybe
much
you
is the
didn't
same.
know. Bass player, drummer, Scott Ian.
Yeah.
I forget the other two names, but I love those guys. Hold on, looking over here. Oh, fuck, I just wrote down drummer. Okay, I did. I didn't
So
put a
you
name.
got Dan Liker, who playing bass, and he's also in so much other stuff. Nuclear Assault, one of the like founding
One of the most
guys.
iconic bass tones in metal. That motherfucker is piercing. Cuts straight through everything.
Yeah. That, and then you have Charlie Benedante.
Love
or
him.
Benanante, drums, and he also does the guitar solo on United Forces.
Son of a bitch.
So he's the one that does the lead guitar parts.
What?
Yeah.
You're the drummer, though. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I love the rhythm section of Anthrax. I love interviews with them. They always seem like those three particular. I don't know about the singer. Just the nicest guys.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know what
They're
it is.
always
They're
on-
just always on VH1.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which this man right over here got VH1 Classic.
No, I have MTV Classic.
Oh.
But just, I'm not anymore. I like dropped that shit.
It was a good week, though.
It was a good week of music videos.
Yeah,
Saw
nostalgic.
some Anthrax videos and stuff.
Oh,
It was
sick.
cool. Yeah. Not the best song, but it was.
Oh,
it was a
like their
good
90s
week.
shit?
Yeah. I mean, it was the other singer. Yeah.
Don't care for it.
But no, so speaking of Anthrax too, 85, October 85 is they released Spreading the Disease, which we had talked about in our album anniversaries that was coming up, remember, I think?
Mm-hmm.
So they literally put this album out, and then 3 days he records,
But why?
but why? Just as
3 days later, he records Speak English
No,
or Die?
he recorded the whole album in 3 days. So he like basically like conceptualized it, recorded it, whatever. From what I understood, he like went to like he got this apartment or something, and he just sat there and wrote. And it was just like a
One of those rock and roll
yeah,
stories.
it was just one of
man.
those like mad writing sessions where he just like came out of that room with like the album, and it was like I have
And
this.
aged over like
Yeah.
5 years in 3 days.
And it was just one of those things where like, oh, all right, well, he literally had this idea, this concept of this like Stormtroopers of Death hardcore band songs that wouldn't really fit with Anthrax in the sense of like you need a singer that can like spit lyrics, spit those
Fast.
lyrics. One of the fastest singers. I mean,
And I think that's what we fell in love with
Kyle
Billy
from
Milano.
X Order is pretty fast on some of those songs, and it's like spitting shit. And this is like ridiculous though.
It's some
on
tongue
Kill
twisters,
Yourself?
dude. It's some tongue twisters.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
And then you listen to the live stuff, and it's like they're playing the songs a little bit faster too. So it's
I think that's the
even
most
more.
addicting part of it is the speed.
Yeah.
You know? The amphetamine of it. It's so blistering fast. I guess if you slowed it down, it could just be a normal run of the mill punk
hardcore band. Yeah.
punk song.
Well,
What?
they're classified as like a crossover. I mean, you're around that
Well,
time of the DRIs and
it's
the like.
thrash metal.
Exactly,
You
it's
can
pretty
call it
much
cross, whatever.
but it's like
Crossover,
thrash metal with like
thrash.
simpler drums. You know what I mean? It's like thrash metal really like needs your drummer to be like flying, whereas like these are like punk beats and like toms and
It's
stuff.
still
like a
really
lot of-
fast. It's still what inspired those metal drummers to get to those speeds.
Yeah.
It was all like the discharge
But that's the
that took it
crossover
into
of,
the get into the blast beat.
right?
Yeah.
Like full blown. What is that one DRI? Full blown steam ahead or whatever the fuck.
Oh, that's the whole album, Full Steam Ahead.
That's what I'm saying.
But
Like it's taking punk and even faster, like the speed
but I
of thrash.
think like in Thrash Zone,
Yeah.
that album, oh my god, it's just like blistering song after blistering song. You're just like whoa.
But that's-
like I
it's
just fall over.
similar to
halfway
this
through.
album where it's just like holy fuck. There's like
I love it.
maybe a song. Let me pull up the track listing here. But let's see. You know, with some of those weird songs like "Hey Gord," I mean, they're not even songs. You know, you have
You just say it's like 3 things, or
Yeah.
it's a little skit like them talking. You know,
It's all the songs here that are like over a minute with like even No Turning Back and like Fist
feels
Pain,
like a
they're
Butthole
so
Surfer thing.
fast. Yeah. And the songs actually fit so well after each other. That's where
it's all the Simpsons.
where,
Was the Simpsons weren't even out at this time, or were they?
where's the Simpsons?
No, it's just like his humor. Always
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I don't know what it is, but he always attaches himself to that quite a bit.
Well, like songs like Freddy Krueger, where it is literally a
I love it.
Freddy
It's my
Krueger
favorite
theme
song.
song. It's awesome. And then
What's the one? Is it on this album where it's just like it's like Billy coming into practice,
yeah,
and they just keep like
something
something keeps feeding back, and he's like,
yeah.
Did you fucking hear that?
Yeah.
Stop it, and it almost feels like that whole skit. I laugh so hard because it feels real, you know.
Yeah.
Because no one's listening and the band's still playing. He's like, just stop real quick.
Yeah.
And I know how that is because being in band practice, and that's just kind of funny. When you try to talk and like the bass player's like, bah, 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 bah. I'm like, look at him, and then you go to say another word, it's like, and you're like, are you serious? Fucking, are you serious? I say you get a drumstick thrown at you. It's just one of those things that some people, like not being in a band or not being new to joining a band in a practice room in a setting, not playing when other people are talking, like not noodling on your guitar, not fucking with your bass tone when we just finished a song, you know?
Yeah.
What if I just hit my cymbal? I just wanted to hear, I just wanted to see how it sounded. I know I just hit it earlier, but I just wanted to check and see if it was in tune. What if I did that? No, it sucks because drums are like that. Like drums just piss off the neighbors. So you had to learn that early.
Yeah.
Because people were like, can you just don't? I think it was a middle school band. I wasn't in marching band, just regular band. And I guess I was playing too hard, or I wasn't good. And the teacher told me to maybe just try it like air drum style for like the rest of the week. And I think I was fucking up his shit. But I digress. No. Well, let's get into a little bit of how this album's made, besides for taking 3 days in a room.
That's what I heard.
Get it out.
But on here,
That's what we always hear.
The rock and roll history stories you hear. Maybe the truth is
like an urban legend. They're like urban legends.
According to their wiki, though, they finished the Spreading the Disease album, and then there was some studio time left from that.
So why not?
So the band's here.
And where was Billy? Just down the hall?
Well, I think they recruited him
really
later.
fast.
Yeah.
Right. They wrote the album and then got him to go in there and do the vocals.
Yeah,
that's what it was. Right.
Write the lyrics and all that stuff. So yeah, you have basically the 4 members, and then the producer Alex Paralis. He's known for his work during the golden age of thrash metal, which is like the mid 80s to the early 90s, working with like Overkill, Testament, S.O.D, Nuclear Assault, Anthrax,
and the list
Flotsam and
goes
Jetsam.
on.
Yeah, just all these like thrash
I've
bands.
never heard that last one.
Which one?
The one you just said, Flotsam and Jetsam.
Flotsam and Jetsam. Yeah, I've like seen their name
pop up quite a bit.
Yeah, I actually don't think I've listened to that either. But.
I guess we're not diverse in our thrash metal as we thought. We apologize to our audience. In no way, shape, or form were we ever trying to mislead you. We thought we knew.
From
we
Phoenix,
thought we knew
Arizona.
all of it. Oh, they're from Arizona? Fuck that. No one's listening to that shit.
But
he also did Europe or something.
He also did the MOD stuff and all.
Well, that's probably where the connection comes from.
Yeah,
I know this guy. I know this band. Those producers are known for making projects, known for building groups. You know what I mean? It's like the story of Fleetwood Mac or the story of Boston. You know?
Yeah.
Like producers, engineers, sometimes label executives. Like these people are like well diverse in the music industry to where if they're good at their job, then they can actually put a group together and get something out of a band that will sell. You know?
If you hear something in the band,
yeah,
you're
like you hear the potential, and if you're good at your job, like you can pull it out of them, or you just see genius for what genius is, and you let genius do what genius does.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you know, you can be like, this is a great guitar player. That's a fantastic drummer. And this, you know, bass player, singer is awesome. I need all three of these bands or all three of these people from all three separate bands to come together to make an actual good band.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the story of Iron Maiden, you know?
Yeah.
They were like, get yourself a new singer and you'll be doing stadium shows in a year. And it's exactly what happened. So they had to get someone that could belt arena style, you know?
Yeah.
And that poor son of a bitch that was the first singer and recorded their first album with Iron Maiden still goes on tour and performs those songs to this day without Iron Maiden playing with them. That's sad. He should have got better. Should have, I don't know, got kicked in the balls once a day to get that voice high enough. I don't know.
I think part of their success too is because of the underground nature of like the scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like the more underground it is, it's kind of like one of those things. Hey, Anthrax recorded a secret album with a different singer with extra
And
studio
it is
time.
kind of a
and
secret
it's like,
album, right? It's something that you would find in like with all those punk records, you know, like just thrown in there $5 and you're like, what is this? Looks pretty cool. Why not?
Yeah.
And then you put it on, you're probably just blown away, dude.
Yeah.
Isn't
First
that
track, heavy as shit.
Something that we just miss a little bit to this day, where it's like finding something that you've never heard and just getting blown away by it, you know? Like watching a movie without seeing the trailer, you know? It was like skimming through channels and just popping on something and you're like, what is this? And you didn't even have TV Guide back then, so you had no idea until maybe the movie was over and they might show you the title.
Yeah.
Other than that, you're explaining it to the guy at fucking Blockbuster, like there was like Charlize Theron was there and like fucking Mel Brooks showed up. I don't know what movie those two would be in, but again, I digress. I had a lot of coffee today. So they were the first ones to start the blast beat?
Yep. Or allegedly.
Okay, so we watched Slave to the Grind. It's a great documentary on YouTube. Please go check that out. Fucking fantastic. And it just gets down pretty much to the end of it. It's just like, it's about the drummer becoming fast enough. And when a drummer became fast enough, it totally shifted the style because it became a new level. So everyone kept leveling up. Guitar player leveled up, singer leveled up, drummer leveled up. Now we're grindcore. Level up one more time, we're death metal. You know, it's like it's a fantastic thing, but there's all these
that
like,
also draws
who started
the comparison
it
of like
back then, you know?
Dan Liker being in a Nuclear Assault, which is another grindcore-ish, you know, death metal type band. Super grindy.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean,
then that's the like you can see how like
they all kind of fit in that little realm. Like thrash metal is right by grind, and death metal is right there on the sides. It's like a little perfect trifecta.
It's weird that this crossover, you know, the crossover of is like metal genres in a sense, where it's like it's on the song Milk, and you know, asked if he's invented it. You know, I sat in my room and decided to sit in my room and invent it. No, it wasn't like that. The thing was something that had been around in the New York hardcore scene for ages, and it hadn't been used for other things. The first time it really happened was on S.O.D's Milk song, so I guess you could say I had a lot to do with it. Now a lot of bands are using it, and they're doing it well. So it was just one of those things where it was like, maybe wasn't the first, but he also probably may have been the first to do it on such a commercial success, and then everyone's like, oh, that was cool.
And then you have to break it down because people ask you this, and if you're not a drummer, you didn't study the art form of drumming.
Yeah.
Then you really don't know that it's just pretty much like if you took a single stroke roll and just did that between two different instruments, cymbal, snare, and it's just doing a roll like on one drum, just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And the other thing is that it's also the skank beat, which the skank beat has always been used, which is played on my lap a little bit, and everyone knows. Bop, 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 bop. You know, just right back and forth. Most punk songs are like that, and you speed that up like another, I don't know, 40 BPMs. You're getting to blast beat territory. Believe me, you know what I mean. And that's all it is. Just speeding up that skank beat is what I always call it, and it's called different things in different genres of music or groups, circles, if you will, because drums are kind of make-em-ups like that. And so there's in the metal community, they always argue like who started black metal, who started these genres, or who started doing this first, you know?
Yeah.
And blast beats one of those things that people always sit there and love to argue about. You know, like
Well, it's
I've
just
heard-
because there's different
yeah.
styles for different coasts, different genres,
Exactly.
and different
and it's not like
people do it in different ways.
other than maybe seeing this band one time use it and a drummer use it, and you're like, whoa, I want to try that and use it myself, you know? And then that kind of how it spread a little bit. If any of these bands went on tour to a different city and they were doing that fucking really fast beat, they're like, oh shit, you know? Like, I'm going to try that when I get home and then start incorporating that in my music and then so on and
it's
so
that,
forth.
And then also drumming just has that thing with like kick two. People do heel to toe. People just do straight heels. People do toe. It's like,
And what was it about that documentary is that the drummer had to find out how to get that fast because there was no seminar on this. There was no YouTube
you invent
video.
your own way, and then other people replicate it,
There
or
was
they
the cheat
invent their own
beat.
way.
Yeah, it was like, how does one get his arms to move so fast? You know, humanly possible, and it's fucking awesome learning about it because I'm a drummer and I always fucking nerd out on that stuff.
So I think also to the point we were saying, where like, could this album come out today?
Hell
You
yeah.
know? No.
I think it could, even though that it could get backlash, but I don't think it would. It would be a slow burn, like how it was, how it is. That it didn't come out and like shift shit right away. It was more like, again, hey, you ever heard of this? Like a friend of a friend passing down a fucking tape. You know what I mean? Getting it from somewhere, finding it in a record store. It wasn't promoted like probably how Anthrax was promoted, you know?
It probably would just get popular. It would go viral because of
It'd
how...
be fucking Bandcamp to fucking whatever, you know?
because
YouTube.
of how the lyrics and just the sensitivity of everything. It wouldn't...
yeah, they would have to be careful, like skirting on that. Like Billy couldn't be tweeting out any like...
Well, not even
what
that.
he thought
it's
was
just
funny at the moment. Shit, you know what I mean?
Luckily,
And
it
then they'll
came
be
out
like,
at a time where people were like, you know...
It was 1985.
That's what I mean. So
AIDS, I don't even think was talked everywhere. They were still denying AIDS, I think, at this time. So
Like-
might as well be the Dark Ages.
Dan Liker was asked in an interview, if the album came out today, do you think it'd have the that because of the political correctness of today, it would go over the same? And he said it would probably be a lot harder time just because people just seem to be more uptight now. And nevertheless, it was, which is without, or is which it. Nevertheless, it was what it was, which is saying it was what it is. But back then, and I don't regret it, maybe minor aspects went overboard with certain lyrical things. But then again, we didn't really mean them. Perhaps if people realize that, then it's just more funny. And I think that goes back to the punk rockness of it.
Yes, and
where
what I
like
was saying.
Anthrax was more serious.
You had that more of a classical metal sound with
Exactly.
that singer, you know what I mean?
They like, you couldn't do Kill
Nice
Yourself.
fucking life.
An Anthrax show, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
But some
Anthrax
of those
is
Anthrax
more-
stuff was getting to it, like, you know, Among the Living. You have NFL, Nice Fucking Life, Indians
True.
talking about the rape of Native Americans.
But I don't think
they
you
really did get down to
couldn't do
like a fucking
Fuck the Middle East.
and then just the fun song Judge Dredd. But I think the Judge Dredd thing had a lot to do with like judge, jury, and executioner and that whole political like
But then there's also like, you know, Megaforce is the label that did the S.O.D. album that we're talking
New
about,
York
and it's
City
an
and
independent
Philadelphia.
label. But you know, Anthrax is on
So he just like used the time,
Megaforce
got the free
as well, but
studio
Nuclear
time
Blast,
to record
like,
this, and then went to go sell it to Megaforce. Genius.
Well, I don't know if they were on Megaforce at the time. Let me
No,
see.
he recorded it after the whatever doing that Anthrax album,
Spreading the Disease. Let me
and
see.
then just fucking.
They were on Megaforce and Island.
Oh well, then never.
So
bugged
it
mine.
was an easy. It was just calling your same
Yeah.
rep and being like, "Hey, I recorded this
Hey,
new
check this
thing."
out.
Yeah.
I sent something over in the mail. It should be there about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Let me know what you think.
So, this demo, Crab Society North, just got pulled up.
This band is one of those bands that is like two punk rockers or two metalheads out in a bar, both wearing S.O.D. shirts. A nod is
It's like the
always
metalhead
appropriate.
and then the punk rocker walk into the bar, and it's like, that's S.O.D. Like you got the
right,
spitting
yeah.
lyrics of like of a punk rock lyricist, and then you have like the intro.
Well, yeah, we'll
Like,
put
which
it
is
like where it's like you can have this back patch, whether you're a metalhead or a punk rocker. It's kind of like Motorhead, you know?
Yeah.
It's accepted everywhere, unlike Visa.
And speaking
Oh
of
wait,
being
Visa is accepted everywhere. No,
Yes.
MasterCard is not. It is not.
Speaking of that being accepted, this album was accepted pretty well, it seems.
By everyone.
You got like just all kinds of like,
Dude, it's going to be a bunch of musicians.
4 out of 5s.
Yeah.
And then it's also sold over 1 million copies.
Say what?
1 million copies.
It did?
It
And
has.
how long did that take?
Let's see, this article came out in 2013, 2012.
So it took, I don't want to do math, 7
Took a
away,
bit, wow.
28 years to sell 1 million. Still, it doesn't matter. This shit was all free.
Yeah.
He recorded it for no money down.
And it also...
And it blew the fuck up. Well, I guess I had to go in there to get Billy's vocal
Yeah.
down there. So there's a little bit of money.
And it's gone through so many re-releases. The original release in... what was it, 85, like we were talking about, but then we were like, I was getting confused with dates and stuff, is it got re-released in August of 95. So that would be a
Probably because it went out of fucking print.
Right,
Yeah.
25th anniversary release for that one. And then they did a platinum edition on February of 2000. And that's because they kept adding all these extra songs, all the bonus re-released, the studio tracks that got released in the 92 so it got reissued in 92, re-released, you know what I mean? It had all these editions come out. It's been...
Spotify said 2015. I was like,
God.
what?
Yeah. Revolver placed Speak English or Die on its 14 thrash albums you need to own list.
Yep,
So it is
I agree.
an essential album, I would say. And then Al Jorgensen, who we've spoke about many a times, Ministry
And
frontman,
highly. Al, if you need a guitar player and a drummer, let us know.
he describes the album as an influential album that inspired him to add thrash metal guitar riffs to his band's music, starting with The Mind is a Terrible Thing to Taste.
Hell yeah. Because it was 2 years later we get fucking Land of the Lipton Honey.
And he also adds that Speak English or Die is one of the best records ever. 2012, Ministry made a cover of United Forces and put it on the album Relapse. Scott Ian also once recalled that Eddie Vedder was a fan of the album, as well as saying, he cornered me one night at a party for 25 minutes telling me the story about the first time he heard Speak English or Die and how it affected his life. This album touches everyone.
Whether you like his music or not, you gotta love Eddie Vedder as a person. Jesus Christ.
Stone Sour frontman and Slipknot frontman Corey Taylor
You should
wrote...
have just said Slipknot.
I am leading with the... he wrote an introduction to the 30th anniversary edition saying how Speak English or Die has impacted his life. And
I
then
would say so.
there are also plans for a Speak English or Die tribute featuring multiple artists during the 90s, but the release never happened. So that would have been awesome to have all these people that are like fans, like thrash metal legends and stuff that are like, this album meant so much, and now they're all recording and redoing these
It
songs.
could have been like the Memphis 3
it would've been so
Black
good.
Flag.
So good.
one. Oh, I would have wanted that. Yeah, you could definitely tell like Corley Taylor
Yeah.
was like influenced by his singing because he spits hot fire as well. You know what I mean?
He does.
That fucking first Slipknot album, good goddamn. You know, a little bit of tongue twisters in there, man. I love it. I listen to that album all the time to try to like replicate the drums because there's 3 drums. So if I feel like if I can get one part, you know, I'm working on something. I'm progressing. Anything else we got on this?
Let me see.
Billy Milano, you still out there?
Besides like just some of the reissue stuff, like outtakes, and then
I wish we could still play songs because we would probably have to play like 2 back to back off this album.
You could play the whole album, honestly. It's
and
so
then
short,
and still keep this album relatively short.
let's see, some fun facts. Parts of March of the S.O.D, Milan Homage, Chromatic Death, Sergeant D were used for commercial breaks for Headbangers Ball.
Oh, hell yeah.
So those songs were used as like the snippets, which is very cool. Like they're so hardcore, I don't see,
You know, you could also just imagine like Beavis and Butthead watching an S.O.D video, you know?
Yeah. Speaking of videos, they maybe not music videos, but they have so many goddamn DVDs. There's so many like live show. And
I can't believe how many live
stuff,
shows.
and like
More than you find of Anthrax.
behind the scenes, like footage of them just fucking around on tour.
Interviews, not hard to find. I wanted to get a bunch saved up, but they're really fucking bad quality. There's so much just. They're always outside interviews at a concert. And they're
punctures, yeah.
A windy day, the windiest of all the days. As one of the drummers eating a bag of chips, you know. Well, actually, we were like just about to go on.
Yeah.
So go out and like just look up some S.O.D stuff on YouTube because it's fucking. There's some good snippets. You're gonna have some, you know.
Yeah. It's a lot easier to find stuff for this album than like Rise of the Infidels and Bigger Than the Devil. Those albums.
That's not even on Spotify.
No,
Bigger Than the Devil. I was like, say what, bitch? I got that on a CD. Well, I got a burn copy on my CD.
Yeah, those albums for some reason, even like Live at Budokan is I think on there. But
yeah, it's on there.
There's some that are just like it's weird what's out there and what isn't. So it's if you're going to search for it, you definitely will be able to find this album. Like if you're trying to just seek out S.O.D.
I mean, shit.
This album's so
people have put
so.
all those albums up on YouTube. There is always a metal guy out there putting up rare, not on any streaming platform because no one gives a shit, like metal albums. You know what I mean? Like you can find some of Gojiro's first stuff in that band called Impalot.
Yeah.
Impalot. Awesome. So cool, but you gotta find it on YouTube. Stuff like Fudge Tunnel right now, you're only gonna find on YouTube. But YouTube is kind of like, you're already there, right? You wanna just pop over, and just fucking type in Stormtroopers of Death. Don't type in S.O.D, it will get confused. Stormtroopers of Death.
Yeah.
Spell it out. No.
Yeah. If you type S.O.D, there's just...
and if you type in interviews after it should pop up immediately, but...
we're live.
Might have
type
to go more.
S.O.D live. Maybe you might get a better...
Yeah. Put the dots in there.
Dots,
It was such a pain in the ass back in the day. First, using YouTube or Spotify and always typing in like DRI, looking for DRI, and they were like, "Don't get it," They're like, "Docking," and I'm like, "No," and it's like everything else that starts with a D is no. So you had to like type in "dirty ride" in the cells. God damn it! No. Any other fun facts?
Besides this album kicking ass. No.
And man, check out some of these live shows, man, on YouTube. We have the DVDs. We're fans. All right, so we're super fans.
I would say the last thing with the whole fun facts is when they had a S.O.D pedal that existed for a while, and that was like to capture his guitar tones, and it had like multiple settings for like different albums or songs. Because he's got this like, for being a rhythm guitar player, this like legendary tone sort of thing.
Yeah.
He always sounds really good.
All of them do.
So
I feel like.
So they did this pedal digitected S.O.D pedal. I don't remember what exactly it was called, but I had it for a little bit, and it was very cool. Speaking of The Simpsons, it came with a guitar pick of him as a Simpsons character.
What's up?
So he loves The Simpsons.
Yeah.
But then also
he has his own podcast, right?
Sure.
Fuck. I'll
Yeah.
post it if I find it. I'm sorry, Scotty. You did no research.
On this pedal, though, had a March of the S.O.D setting because it was that
March of the S.O.D setting.
A setting like you could get
the
that
first
sound.
song in this album. Dude,
exactly.
That's always how it kicks off, dude. I'm like,
how big it sounds. His guitar sound. It's like so huge for like one guitar player.
Fuck, that's cool.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you listened even,
and you got rid of it.
It kind of was like a one-trick pony sort of. You know what I mean?
We apologize again, Scotty.
Yeah, I regret getting rid of it. I do because it does like, but it was one of those like, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
hey man,
it's like having a signature thing. It's like it's only good for that one thing in a sense.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like I would frame it and put it up on the wall. Put it in a glass case. Put
I
it
mean,
up.
it would work if we were doing like Anthrax covers. That's like the pedal you want.
should put it
if
in
you
like
want to do that
yeah.
type of stuff.
You should have it in the jam room, like in a little glass case up on the wall with a little hammer next to it, and just in case you got to hit that one thing. You know, we're like, this song doesn't have enough oomph. Then you know what you got to do. Emergency pedal. Turn it on. Fucking march.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you all for listening.
Yes.
Go listen to S.O.D. What are you doing listening to us? Follow us on all the platforms. Spotify. At BANGover Productions. It's pretty
Spotify,
easy.
Google, Apple Music. They're all just type in BANGover. It'll be first.
Google that shit.
Yeah.
Type us in YouTube. Type us in YouTube. BANGover
All that shit.
EO or ER. And then it should pop up. It should autocorrect.
Yeah.
But you know. We're getting there, people.
We're getting there.
And follow us on Instagram at BANGover Productions.
Media's
See all
Facebook.
our posts. And thank y'all again. And hail to the Kings of Thrash, one of the Kings of Thrash. So many more things, so many different ideas that we're coming up with to improve the show.
Oh yes, things are rolling.
Rolling, so to
Content is
speak,
rolling
yeah.
live.
Green screens, pop filters on mics. Yeah, we're getting there.
We're getting there. Slowly.
All right, let's go out with an S.O.D. song. Can we do that?
No.
Okay.
But I do suggest everybody go take 30 minutes, listen to the album.
You know, if
The
you gotta
whole
like,
album.
walk the dog. Sure, by the time you're done
yeah.
walking the dog, you're done with that.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, later.
Keep on rocking.